guys, it's me, Maddie with GB Yoga Online. I got a nice flow today which I was inspired to put together while out on my bike. So I was out just on a 2-hour-ish ride and I always end up getting off my bike feeling a bit crooked, a bit bent over. This is great for any other fellow cyclists or triathletes, but also great if obviously you're working from home at the minute and you're stuck behind a desk all day, or on your laptop, your computer, or maybe working from a phone. Obviously when you're sitting for a long time, hip flexors can start to shorten and we can put a bit of strain on the lower back as we kind of roll forward, overstretching all the tissues. So yeah, we're going to get everything feeling a little bit better there. So we're going to start by coming straight down onto the back. And I want you to bend the knees, feet on the floor, hands are going to come onto the pelvic bones, the ASIS points, head on the ground. And just start to gently pull your chin down towards the chest ever so slightly, just finding length through the back of the neck. And now start to squeeze into your glutes or your butt cheeks. You can poke them, make sure they're starting to wake up. But then just start to kind of lift the tailbone, then your glutes, then the lower back, the sacrum, and then lowering a little, lifting a little bit higher, so you're no longer on the middle of the back either. And just start to squeeze, hold here, making sure the belly's staying strong and pull it in. You can bring the hands onto the abdomen, onto the rib cage and the chest, all drawing towards the back line of the body. Just creating this lovely length here across the back. And now bringing the hands onto the thighs, grip the top and we'll just start to pulse the hips. So it's firing these glutes up. It can get pretty intense. While we're pulsing here, we're still maintaining this kind of rigidity through the top of the body. Glutes are definitely firing, you should feel it if you're not sure. But then come up and hold and just start to lift and lower your heels. Firing up the calf muscles. Now bring the hands up to the ceiling and start to do the same with the hands. So open and close. Fire everything up. Last 3 breaths. Faster you go, the more intense it gets. And then you can release the heels down, walk the feet further away, lift the toes up, press the heels into the ground. That might be enough, or maybe see if you can pull the heels in towards you, still keeping these hips elevated. So we're getting more into the hamstrings here at the back of the thighs. And while we're here, we'll start to stretch out the left wrist, drawing the fingertips back. Now if this is too much, by all means drop the toes and then walk the feet back in. If you want to take it further, pulse. Can get a bit crampy, just to pre-warn you. And then flip the left palm down. And then shake it out. Then using the left hand to draw the right fingertips back. And then flip the palm over. And then as you exhale, shaking out the wrists, we'll lower the hands and lower the hips. And again, mine's getting a little bit crampy, so just shake it out, especially as I've just come off the bike as well. So we're going to get into the core. We're going to have our legs up to the ceiling, so the hammies are a bit lengthened. Obviously, if they're mega tight, you might want to slightly bend the knees here. And for those that want to switch it up a notch and have access to a block, I offer you to pop it in between the thighs for a little bit more feedback here. And we're going to interlace the hands behind the head with the elbows up. So really get long through the legs. If you can't go straight up, again, bend the knees or bring the legs further away. We'll take a big inhale. And then as you exhale, lift off the shoulder blades. Now we're going to bring our left hand onto the belly, compress, find as much length through the back of the body, pressing your head and hand in towards one another. Hand comes back to the head. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Right hand to the belly, lift a little bit higher off the shoulder. This is a great little sequence. I actually learned something similar like this off a teacher called Lara Hyman. Lit, she's amazing if you want to check her out. Hand back to the head. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Left hand to the belly. And lift a little bit higher and see if you can twist slightly to the left. Keep off the left scapula. Hold it. Come back to center. Hand to the head. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Right hand to the belly. Twist to the right. Keep that length. Think about trying to lengthen your back. In space, keep the tailbone lifted. Come back to center, hand to the head. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. left hand to the belly, twist to the left, extend your right arm to the outside of the leg and reach forward. Good, hold it here. Good, bring the hands back to center, switch straight with your, right hand to the belly, left arm to the outside of the right leg and reach. Good, hands come back to the head, inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Right hand onto the belly, twist to the right, extend the left arm, reach forward, hold it there. Now come through center, switch the hands over, extend the right arm to the outside. Keep lifting off the scapula, hold it there. Then come back to center, inhale to release. Take a moment, get rid of the block if you're using it. And then drawing your knees into the chest. We're going to rock forward and back a few times, up and down the spine. Do it a good few times, even if you get the momentum straight away to come up. And then once you've come up, rocking all the way forward, over onto all fours. So bringing our shoulders over the wrists and hips over the knees. We're going to bring our left hand to the back of the head, elbow out to the side. And start to squeeze through the abdominals, firm up through the glute, and we'll extend the right leg back. And maybe you can lift that leg. And just find that length, maybe point the toe. If you're pointing the foot, see if you can pull the toes back actually. So you've got that kind of a mixture going on, flexion and extension. Now drop the toes back down. We'll take a big inhale and open out to the left. Nice strong core. And as you exhale, bring the left elbow down to the right arm. And again, inhale to open, try not to let the pelvis start to twist. Exhale to come down once more, inhale. And then exhale, release the hand, release the knee, and we'll go on to the other side. So right hand to the back of the head and hand pressing towards one another. Firm up through the glutes and core, we'll extend the left leg away. And so if you can firm up further to lift that leg off. Keep the belly strong, the rib cage, the head and hands still pressing in. So we're basically lengthening at that top line of the body from the head down to the toes. Now drop the toes down, and as you inhale, we'll slowly open. And as you exhale, bring the elbow down. And again, inhale. And exhale. And once more, inhale. And then as you exhale, release the hand and release the knee. So we'll tuck the toes underneath, pop straight up into downward dog and just start to pedal. One leg straightens as the other bends. And then I just want you to walk your feet out nice and wide, toes out, heels in slightly, and we'll walk the hands back. Maybe just sit into a bit of a kind of a high squat. So your hips are about knee level or slightly higher. Head is completely relaxed, as is the neck. And reach your fingertips as far away from you can and sit back, send the weight into the hips. Bring in some space into the fascia, thoracolumbar fascia in this lower back region. For me, I don't get much feedback here unless I do it straight after coming off the bike. Now just start to walk your feet in. You can lift the hips a little bit higher. And we're going to walk forward into a plank. Release the knees and then exhale and lower. Inhale, lift the chest. And then exhale for downward dog. Walk the feet wide, walk the hands back and back into your squat. Take a breath here. Then we'll walk forward, but this time as you do, just walk the feet together. Exhale and lower. Inhale, lift the chest. And exhale for downward facing dog. Again, walk the feet wide. Last one, hands come back, sit down, reach the fingers forward, let the head relax. And then walk forward into plank, pause there. And then release the knees, exhale and lower. Inhale, lift the chest, hold it here and just have a little bit of a wiggle. Side to side, looking over your left shoulder, then the right, left, and the right. And then come back to center, lift the hips, come back to downward dog. before walking your feet up to the top of the mat. Inhale, come straight up. Exhale, send the hips back to fold. We'll step the right foot back. We're going to drop the knee, keep the toes tucked, and then we'll come all the way up. Set the pelvis, so pull the hands in, root your tailbone down, pull the hip bones up, squeeze, press into those tucked toes. We're going to bring our left hand onto the left hip. As you inhale, right arm comes up. As you exhale, take it over to the left, let the head release, and just simply breathe. Inhale to center, exhale, hands come down, and we're going to turn to the right. I'm just coming into some lateral lunges. So square up the feet so the toes aren't turning out, send the hips back, not knees forward, and open into the groin. So if you are sitting a lot, those hamstrings can tighten. If you're on the bike a lot as well. And although we're not exclusively getting into the hamstrings here, we are coming into the adductors, and they do share that same matrix. Keep it going. And now we're going to turn back to the front of the mat. I want you to soften your right knee and just start to lengthen your left leg. You can also drop the right knee down entirely for a half split, or hold the knee for like a bit of a runner's lunge. Lift the heart, relax the shoulders. If you need blocks here, you can bring blocks underneath the hands to lift yourself a little bit higher. Continue to draw the belly, the rib cage in, drive the heart forward, let the shoulders relax. And then plant the hands, and we'll step back into plank. Drop the knees if you need to, or stay in full plank, and as you exhale, come all the way onto the belly. Bring the hands to the hips, and as you inhale, lift everything up, drawing the shoulders back, drawing the elbows a little bit higher. And then exhale, plant the hands, tuck the toes for downward facing dog. Walk the feet wide, walk the hands back, sit back. And coming onto those fingertips, we're going to walk both hands over to the right, really reaching that left hand forward. Breathe into that side waist, into the armpit. Then come back to center before going over to the left. Reach that right hand forward, really bringing space into the side waist. Then come back to center, elevate the hips, and we're just going to kind of high hip bear crawl, downward dog crawl to the top of the mat to fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, send the hips back to fold. We'll step the left foot back, drop the knee, keep the toes tucked, right hand to the hip, inhale, left arm. Exhale, take that left arm over to the right. Begin to open into the left hand side of the body, root the tailbone down, drop the belly, the rib cage in. Inhale to center, exhale, hands come down, and we'll turn to the left, lateral lunges. And maybe add some twists into the ribs. Maybe I like to kind of flow side to side a bit more. Maybe bringing your hands off and bringing hands to opposite foot and twisting, maybe pausing. And then turning back to the front of the mat. Soften the left knee, begin to straighten the right leg. Again, you can drop that left knee down entirely if you need to. Lift the chest, open the heart, relax the shoulders, breathe. Final breath. Inhale to come forward, lift the back knee, step back into plank. Exhale, lower all the way down. Bring the hands to the hips, inhale to lift. Find that length, we're firing up that posterior chain. And then exhale, plant the hands, tuck the toes for downward facing dog. Walk the feet nice and wide, send the hips back. Now I'm going to bring the left hand in, underneath the left shoulder. As you inhale, right hand comes up. Exhale, right hand comes down underneath the shoulder. Left hand comes up. Let the head release. Exhale, hands come down, lift the hips. Crawl to the top of the mat to fold. Inhale. Exhale, send the hips back to fold. We'll set the right foot back, drop the knee, keep the toes tucked. Set your pelvis, so draw that left foot in, squeeze the glute, opening into the front of that right hip, and just swing your arms. Let them all flow, become a little bit more fluid. Now we're going to create two fists, right arm in front, left arm behind. Bring the left fist into the top of the right butt cheek. And you're going to reach forward from the shoulders. We're not leaning forward. We're reaching from the shoulder blade, the scapula. Bring it over to the left. Chin to your chest and just round the back. So kind of like you're doing this, like you're hunching, rounding, rolling the shoulders forward, what I tell you not to do. That kind of cat action. Broaden. Keep squeezing through that right glute to feel that lovely opening to the front of the hip. One more breath. And then as you exhale, hands come down to the back of the mat and we'll lift our right knee. Right hand stays down, again use a block or prop it up if you need to. Left hand is coming up. So we're rotating from the ribs, not twisting through the hips. So the hips stay as level as possible. And correct it, use a mirror if you need to, or ask someone if they're practicing with you. And just let the head release here. Now we're going to drop the right knee down underneath. If you're using a block, get rid of it, so the hand come underneath the shoulder. Left hand to the hip, and we're going to send our left leg back for a modified side plank. Now pick up from that side of the waist, lean back into your shoulder blade, and we'll bring our left hand to the back of the head. We're going to root down through our left foot and think about that elbow coming up and over, so we're opening into this side of the body. One more breath. And then as you exhale, bring your left hand down. We're going to lift the left leg, hug the belly and rib cage in. Right hand comes to the back of the head. Press the head and hand in towards one another. As you inhale, come all the way up. Exhale to close. If it's too much, drop the foot down. And again, inhale to open up. Exhale. Once more, inhale, it's really hard, you're going to work hard to stabilize. Exhale, release the hand down, step back into plank, and we'll take a vinyasa. Soften the knees, look to the hands. We're going to step the left foot through. I want you to drop your right knee down, keep the toes tucked. We'll bring our left hand onto the left thigh, inhale, right arm comes up, squeeze the glutes, big inhale. And then as you exhale, just drive the hips forward, opening into that hip. And again, big inhale. Exhale, go deeper, maybe stay there, or maybe start to take a slight back bend, lifting up and opening. So really opening that anterior part of the body, relax the shoulders, 2 more breaths. And then exhale, hands come down and tuck the back toes if they are tucked, and start to lengthen this left leg. Again, if you need your blocks, prop them underneath the hands. Now we're going to press that left heel into the floor and just start to drag it in towards you, keeping the heart and the chest open. One more breath. And then inhale to come forward, plant the hands, lift the back knee and step into plank. And as you exhale, slowly lower down onto the belly. So we're going to take a little bit of a stretch for the chest, the pecs. So I want you to bend your right arm to about 90 degrees. So it's coming straight out from the shoulder, elbow in line with the shoulder, and then hand in line with the elbow. You're then going to roll onto this side, bending the knees to give yourself a bit of a base. Left hand is just on the floor with the elbow up to the ceiling. You might want to stay here, this might be enough. If you're struggling to get into it, play around with positioning of the right arm. You can lengthen it out or just bend it a little bit less. But just keeping yourself as you are, press the left hand into the floor. And you'll just start to feel that opening into your pec and into the chest region. You might even feel it in front of the shoulder as well. 2 more breaths. And then as you exhale, slowly come back onto the belly, plant the hands, tuck the toes, and we'll come up. We're going to come straight to three-legged dog, so lengthening the left leg up to the ceiling. Press into the hands, continue to draw the belly and the rib cage in. And then as you inhale, we're going to bring that left knee forward to the left elbow. Pause there. And then release the knee down, coming into pigeon. So send your right leg away, square off the left leg, nice and centered, and you can begin to fold. If you can't take pigeon, or if you do experience any knee pain here, please release, take child's pose or an alternate position if you're familiar with one. I'm not here for too long, so just relax. Whether you send your hands, your elbows, or head to floor, it's your call. And then coming up onto your hands, we'll plant them, start to lean into them, tuck the right toes underneath. Step the feet nice and wide as you come into your downward dog, toes out, heels in, sit back into your squat, let the head release. Now we'll bring the left hand in underneath the shoulder. As you inhale, right arm comes up, but we'll wrap our right arm to the lower back and just start to twist open. Now you're welcome to stay here in your half bind, or maybe bringing your left hand underneath the left thigh and trying to grasp the hands together. And then reset the hips low if you need to, let the head release towards the floor. And then slowly release. We'll bring the right hand down under the right shoulder, left hand comes up, maybe bringing it to the lower back. And then maybe wrapping your right arm underneath for the bind. Head releases, just breathe. And then release the hands down, lift the hips, and just crawl to the top of the mat. Inhale to come up. Exhale, hands to heart center. And then inhale, arms lengthen. Exhale, send the hips back to fold. We'll step the left foot back, release the knee, keep the toes tucked. Swing the arms. So remember, while you're swinging, we're still pulling the right foot in towards us. We're really pressing into those back toes. And we're driving that left hip forward. And then when you're ready, left arm in front, right arm behind, create two fists. Right arm wraps around to the top of the left glute, left butt cheek. Drive that left hip forward, then we'll reach forward from the left shoulder. Bring it over to the right, chin to the chest. Breathe. Think about puffing out like you're trying to broaden between the scapula. Last breath. And then as you exhale, hands release down, we'll lift the back knee. Left hand stays on the mat, and as you inhale, right arm comes up. And we're really pulling that right hip back, drawing the belly and rib cage in and leaning into your left hand and your left shoulder blade. Again, maybe letting that head release to the ground. And then dropping the left knee underneath the left hip or thereabouts. Right leg comes back, right hand to the hip. And just get stable here. So we're really rooting down through the right foot, picking up the side waist, leading back into the shoulder blade. Then right hand can come to the back of the head, and imagine the elbows going up to the ceiling, but also towards the top of the mat. And you'll feel that just open into that top line of the body. And then as you exhale, release the right hand down. Square off to the floor, pick up the belly, squeeze the glutes. We'll float the right leg, and left hand is coming to the back of the head, pressing head and hand in towards one another. So as you inhale, slowly open out, pause. And then exhale back to the start. And again, inhale to open. Exhale to come down. Inhale to open. And then exhale to come down. We're going to step straight back into plank. And then exhale and lower. Now we're going to come straight into our opening of the chest a bit earlier than we did in the other flow. So what you take a bend into your left elbow. We're going to roll onto our left side, bringing the knees up slightly. Right hand on the floor with the elbow over the wrist, and just press in here. I'm just doing it a bit earlier because the next time we come to our bellies, we're going to reopen the chest on both sides. Final 2 breaths. Be quite a delicious stretch, quite intense. Again, alter that left arm if you need to. And then slowly coming onto the belly, plant the hands, tuck the toes, and we'll find downward facing dog. Nice big inhale. And exhale. I'm going to look to the hands, step the right foot through. Left knee comes down, toes remain tucked. Right hand to the right thigh, lengthen the arm, get nice and tall. Inhale, left arm comes up. And as you exhale, drive the hips forward, start to feel that opening as you get feedback from the front of the left hip. Maybe that is enough. Or maybe you can reach up and start to hinge back slightly. What I don't want you is to just lean into it and start to dump weight into the lower back. Keep a nice long curve as you reach all the way back and up. And then as you exhale, hands come down and tuck the back toes. Start to send your hips back to come into a half split position. Come onto the fingertips if needed, or use something underneath the hands to pop you up further. But we're going to press the right heel down into the floor. We're dragging it in. You'll feel that light up the leg. Toes are pulling up. You've got that flexion. Breathe. And then inhale forward, plant the hands, tuck the back toes, and the right leg will come straight up. Continue to draw the belly and the rib cage in. And as you inhale, taking a bend into the right knee, bring the right knee forward to the elbow, and then release, coming straight into pigeon. You can come down onto the hands, down onto the elbows, head to floor. But wherever you are, again, relaxing. Maybe close the eyes, start to really relax into it. Last couple of breaths. Now coming up onto the hands, we're going to tuck the back toes. We're going to slide the right leg back so we can come down onto our bellies. So we're going to straighten both arms out to the sides. We'll start with the left side. So I want you to roll onto your left hand side. Again, so arm is straight out like I got the right one. It's not going up or down, but of course, please do modify if you need to. And all we're going to do is bend the right leg, bring it up towards us. Now you might want to stay here, this might be enough. Or maybe you can start to bring your right hand up towards the ceiling. If there's any pain in the elbow, flip the palm up so it's upside down. And just start to open as far as you comfortably can. And then as you exhale, come down. We'll turn over onto the other side, bringing the left knee up, and maybe bringing the left hand up, and just starting to open. And then slowly coming onto the front. And all you can do from here is straight away roll onto your back. Get comfy. Maybe bringing the feet together, knees nice and wide, or taking Shavasana. So finding the most comfortable position for you. And just allowing this pause, this break from the physical practice to allow you to absorb, let your body absorb as well what you've done. Repetition really is key when it comes to some of these movements, so you can do these flows many, many times throughout the week. Adding it into your training schedule just to keep everything nice and limber. And you can stay here as long as you want. I will be shortly stopping the video. So I will say namaste to you now. Namaste.